to the cloud for later sharing. But the QR code on here, whether you're at home, whether you're watching the recording or here, that is the registration form. So if you did not fill that out, that's the information I need to get you in to Arbiter Sports. So sometimes people are like, hey, I haven't got anything from Arbiter Sports because I don't have the information. The goals of this meeting, hopefully, is to simplify the processing of calling fouls. A lot of times, new officials especially, they see a foul, but they don't know what to do. They're like, that's something. So hopefully we simplify the call. The next one is to educate what is a foul. So there's tons of contact in basketball. And we're going to go over incidental and illegal. We have to educate what contact is actually a foul. Build consistent communication. You'll hear me say this over and over and over again today. It has no bearing on what your judgment is. We have to communicate similar words, similar signals, so people are not confused. So they talk about, you made a call on this end. Why didn't you make it on this end? You got to be able to use similar words, hinder, impede, displace, to explain the difference between contacts. Next one is I'm going to do the best I possibly can via Zoom, but here in the room, the easy of what to do after a foul. And then at the end, we'll share some drills that you could go home and practice because it's not easy. I always forget officials who've done it 5,000 times. It's just second nature. It's just like walking. But literally, when you call a foul, you have to do like 5 things all at one time. And it's very difficult if you're new. So there's drills to work on it. So the challenge of foul calling, every single game, you're probably going to hear one of these 2 words. All right. You took the game away from the kids. You didn't let them play because you called too many fouls. And then you start hearing that and you're like, all right, I'm going to let stuff go. Now you start letting stuff go. You're letting the game get out of control. Somebody's going to get hurt out there. And we have to find that balance. Every single game, you got to find that balance. All right, so that is our challenge today, to teach you the mix and match of art and science when it comes to officiating. This is the simplification part. There's only 7 fouls you need to call. All right, so the first one is block. So if you have a block, boom, closed fist, block. Second one, charge. Closed fist, charge. Third one, foul, elbow. I should be doing this on video. All right. Just extending the elbow out. When you do this, make sure you don't have a player next to you. All right. That's very important. Third one, closed fist, hand check. Fifth one, closed fist, holding. And it doesn't matter which arm. Okay. Sixth one, closed fist, illegal use of hands. All right, some people do the fist, some people do the chop, some people do the open hand. That could be your style. All right, but you want your arms to cross. All right, you are showing they illegally used their hands. And then the 7th one, closed fist, push. All right, so what are 2 words that we always hear from fans and coaches that are not a foul on this slide? Over the back is not a foul.
Never has been.
Reach by rule is actually legal, which we'll get into. All right, so don't be that official that calls over the back, that calls reach. Completely legal. These are the only 7 that officials should be using for consistent communication. Consistent. Keep it simple. Don't make up your own stuff. So knee, 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 hit to the head, hit to the head. Don't do that. It's going to cause confusion. Okay. It's nice and simple. 7 personal fouls. All right, so the definitions, I sort of put these words in simple words. If you truly, we go through this, you don't understand it, that's why I put the rule reference in there. Take time to read the true definition of the long legal term. All right, but the definition for incidental contact, which is legal contact, you have 10 players running around on the basketball court. There's going to be a lot of contact, a lot. And now we have to determine, is it incidental, AKA, are both players after that contact still in equal favorable position? That's that advantage, disadvantage. So people, boom, contact, nobody's at a disadvantage, we got nothing. So people always say, how is that not a foul? Equal position, coach. Again, equally favorable position. That terminology is in the rule book for you. The next one, contact does not hinder the opponent from making normal movements. So there's times people are dribbling and they get hit on the arm, they get hit on the hip, they get hit on the back. But if that person keeps on dribbling to the basket for a layup, that's not a foul. They did the movement they wanted to do. Now coaches will always be like, all right, oh man, I'm glad that official didn't call that foul. Wide open layup. Then they missed the layup, right? Now the coach says, why didn't you call that foul back there? Remember, dribbling, shooting, two different movements. All right, so as long as that first contact doesn't affect the dribble, doesn't affect that shot, it's incidental. It didn't affect that movement with the contact, okay? And then the third one, even if severe, this is when screens happen. All right, so you have that screen outside the vision of somebody, and the teammate does not communicate, screen. So now the defense is coming full bore. That screener is set, and then boom, they collide. That screener goes flying. Backward. Did the defense do anything illegal? Did they know that screener was there? No. It's outside their vision. Teammates didn't let them know they were coming. Was that screener set, have floor position? And what was that screener trying to do? Screen. They did. Yeah. So even if severe, incidental. Okay. And that's where it's outside the vision. Sometimes players just run into each other because they don't know they're there. It's incidental contact. So when you have this, and a coach says, how is that not a foul? Incidental contact. Start simple. And then as you start practicing what to say, now you could go, which one of these three of the incidental contact was it? Equally favorable, didn't hinder, or outside the vision? All right, so now here's the personal foul definition. Again, I sort of simplified it. The definition 419.1 is now illegal contact. You need contact for a personal foul. You need contact, right? Illegal contact, which hinders normal movement. Dribbling, passing, cutting, shooting, screening, guarding. All right, so they have to be able to give space to guard when we talk about guarding without the ball here, right? If there's contact and it hinders the opponent from doing a normal move, we now have to do this. All right, we have to have a fist up for a foul. Oh. Doing this stops the clock. Doing this lets your partner know you have a foul. Doing this lets the coaches know you have a foul. Now you could process, it's only 0.5 seconds. You could process which of those 7 fouls is it. And it's going to be practice. You're going to be able to boop, boop, block, boop, charge, boop, push, boop, hold. You're going to be able to process that. All right, so you have to stop the clock and raise that arm nice and high. Nice and high, okay? I always tell new officials, hit yourself in the ear with that arm. Hit yourself in the ear, because this means nothing, okay? That means nothing. How about that?
But no control.
Exactly.
It just looks like a strike.
Mm-hmm. All right. Admit, 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 and admit. Perfect. So the first one, block. Okay, this is a person, offense or defense, using their body illegally, right, to impede the progress of the opponent. So a normal basketball movement could be a dribbler. If the defense moves forward into a dribbler, foul on the defense, block. Right, even if they run into each other, the onus is on the defense. Defense cannot go forward. Because what is a normal basketball move for defense? What are they protecting? The hoop. And the hoop is behind them. So if they go forward, they're going into somebody else's territory. And that's illegal. All right. Offense, what's their normal movement? Where are they trying to go? To the hoop. So now I could legally hold my ground. I can protect my house. No pun intended there. Okay. Protect your house. So foul on the defense if they move forward. Block. Moving while screening. All right. So I have to be set to have a screen. I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't screen and the same person I screen roll and prevent them from continuing to defend. All right. So if I am screening and it's a screen and roll, that roll is only legal if the defense switches. Because if they don't switch, what's that person's normal basketball movement? What are they trying to do? They're trying to get around the screen. They're not switching. So coaches will always say, that's the one that I always get all the time. Why was it a foul down here for an illegal screen, but here it's not? I always ask the coach, hey coach, do you teach your players to switch on screens? Yes. Sweet. So you were able to do your normal basketball movement. They're not switching. So their normal basketball movement, they're trying to stay with the same person.
Twice.
Exactly. And you can't do it while moving. I don't know why they did this, but illegal screen on the defense. Fist.
What?
Team control.
Is that new?
Last year.
Okay.
Last year's new. All right. So federation, if it's illegal screen, fist, illegal screen, because it's team control. Because now this is indicating no free throws if the other team's in the bonus. So anytime we do this, it's no free throws.
Is there any difference between that and the charge ball?
Exactly the same.
Okay.
Yep. Now I will voice different. So I will go boop, charge. I will go boop, block, moving while screaming. I'll use different words, but the signal is the same. So we know we don't award free throws.
Come back with the block.
They don't want us to. I do. I'm guilty of doing that secondary mechanic, especially if a coach is like, that person doesn't even have the basketball, Sean. I know, coach, it was a block, illegal screen. All right, because coaches are still learning that signal. All right.
Would it be better if we show that when we are reporting the foul?
No, the federation, boom,
Yes.
boom.
When we are reporting,
No, boom, boom.
when we're gonna do this.
Not on a moving screen. You're not doing it. Sliding under an airborne shooter. All right, when we get into charge, you'll understand what I mean by sliding under an airborne shooter. All right, it is illegal once somebody goes for a layup or jumps off the ground. You can't, as a defender, slide into that airborne shooter.
Gotta let them land.
Wherever they jump, if it's a jump shot, you got to let them land. And then if it's a layup, again, the normal basketball movement on the layup is going towards that hoop. So we talk about we don't have that restricted arc in high school basketball. We don't have the line, but we have the rule. You have to give them a place to normally land. Layup, normal. Jump from here, jump forward to the basket. You have to give them a place to land. Otherwise, block. Okay. And then the last one, and this will transition, is not having legal guarding position, then contacting the ball handler. All right, so if I'm running side by side, I can't hit that ball handler. If I'm running as a defender behind the dribbler, I gotta do everything they do not to contact
Well,
that ball
any bump
handler.
would be impeding their progress.
And that's what you have to judge. So any bump isn't a foul yet.
Right.
Now, if it impedes their path, their balance, their rhythm, how they dribble, now you have a foul. Okay, so now what we have to learn, and this is where we had a lot of discussion on Monday, and there is no art to this next slide yet. This is still science. This is still rule book. Okay. So legal guarding position. With no further ado, perfect. Read definition 423. When a person has the ball in high school, whether we like this rule or not, okay, there is no minimum distance required for the defense to give that offensive play. All right, so if I am playing defense on this tissue box, okay, I can be right here. As long as I don't contact that tissue box. If I get here and I'm set and still, I'm good. There is no distance required. All right. Now, for a 5-second count, I have to be within 6 feet. So that's what it's talking about. There's a maximum distance for the closely guarded. The next one, there's no maximum distance to attain legal guarding position. So right now, I have legal guarding position on this box. I have legal guarding position on Jason. I have legal guarding position on Ben. I have legal guarding position on Brian. We're all different distances, but as long as I have 2 feet on the ground, and I'm facing the opponent, I have legal guarding position. After I have legal guarding position, I can move. How many times do you hear coach say, you got to be set to take a charge? You do not have to be set to take a charge. You could jump and take a charge. You could turn obliquely so you don't get hit in the chest, the face, the groin to take a charge. You could absorb the contact to take a charge. Right? You could raise your hands vertical to take a charge. But you must start at some point 2 feet on the ground facing your opponent. Okay? Now the confusion.
It has to be pretty square.
Yeah, well, we're gonna take a look
Okay.
at some video. I mean, it's gotta be clearly chest
Mhm.
to ball, yeah. Me looking at you like this, Susan,
Not doing it.
not legal.
Yeah.
Oh, chest to chest.
Yep.
This is where the confusion comes in. Okay, consistency. Player without the ball. Me as a defender now have to give the offense some room to move around me. So now if somebody is gonna cut, I can't beat them to the spot that they're cutting to and not allow the offense enough time to go around me. All right, so without the ball, I gotta give them 2 strikes. That's the judgment part. All right, was there enough room for that cutter to go around that defensive player? So that's without the ball. So you're gonna have some contact with the ball. How's that not a foul? Well, because the defense is not moving and the offense initiated contact. And then you're gonna have a cutter start a good stride away, boom, foul on the defense. God, how is that a foul? They gave him so much more room with and without the ball. That's why. Okay. So we went over block. We went over legal guarding position. Now we're going to go over what does it take for a charge to be called. Okay, so this is illegal contact caused by the person with the ball into the opponent's torso. So I think the last time we really went into this, we tried to look up a medical definition of torso. We can simplify it. It's either they get the head and shoulder past or they don't. If they get the head and shoulder past, they didn't hit them in the torso. If the head and shoulder doesn't get past, boom, torso. So simplify it. The next one that coaches drive me crazy with because I say this to them and they think I'm crazy. Any boundary line around the court, within 3 feet of that boundary line, if there's contact, the onus is on the offense. So now you could actually have a charge if the head and shoulders gets past the defender. Because is it legal for the defender to start their foot out of bounds? So the defender has to start in bounds. So if the defender has to start in bounds and the offense tries to sneak between the defender and sideline, the defender doesn't have room to slide over. So anything within 3 feet, all right, and it displaces, goes through that defender, they cannot normally defend now, charge. And then the coach was like, Sean, you just said, if my guard gets head and shoulders past, there'll be a block. Oh, exception, coach. When it's within 3 feet of the boundary line. Oh, crazy. Okay. But again, the purpose is we don't want contact. Where does the offense, where should they be dribbling?
Middle of the court.
Middle of the court to the hoop. So it's not normal for them to go to that boundary line. And so again, that normal basketball movement. And then the last one, the player with the ball shall not push the torso of the defender. So that's a push off to get an open shot. And we'll have a video of this. Okay. So that's a push off. All right. I will argue, and I love arguing, but we won't argue today. I'll argue with myself in the head. This is actually the easiest call to make, block versus charge. So many times people think, oh man, those are tough. Those are 50-50s. It's really not. All right. Here's the tips how to get it right. Officiate the defense. You got to know if they have legal guarding position. That's number one. We're going to see a video of officials getting calls wrong, and these officials are really, really good. The reason they get it wrong is because they're not seeing through the players. They see the defender's back. All right, you got to see through the players. All right. The other one, we will anticipate a call. Anyone like to call charge over block? All right, you got to get out of that habit. Enjoy the call, block or charge. Don't enjoy one over the other. Don't anticipate the fire to call, just the type of play. And then you got to be able to answer three questions. Does the defender have legal guarding position? You should know that before contact. Who initiates contact? Does the defense move forward?
They shouldn't.
They shouldn't. Okay. And the last thing is, where was the contact? Again, if you blow and raise your fist, you're going to be able to answer those last two questions half a second. You will. It's hard to explain, but when you get out there, it's a half a second just to process. Don't be in a hurry. And that half a second to you seems like forever, but it's really not. It's boom, boom. All right, so cross our fingers that this video comes up. Yes, at home.
Special interest inside.
Oh
man.
no.
After taking nearly $500,000 from insurance.
Ignore that. Sorry.
He voted for billions in tax
Dang it.
breaks.
I knew I should have done
And
this.
lowering prescription drug costs. We can't trust him to look out for us.
All right, at home, can you guys see this video?
Cannot.
You
We
cannot.
cannot. No.
All right,
No.
so I am gonna new share.
No.
Can you see the video now?
Yes, we can.
All right, sweet. So these are block charges. Okay. So the call on the field is or on the court is a charge. Okay. Now let's take a look at another angle. Does the defender have legal guarding position? All right, so first checkbox is yes. Who initiates the contact?
Defense.
Defense. All right, so since the defense initiated the contact,
Defense.
now we got to think, does it affect normal basketball movement of the offense? Yeah, I mean, he's got to jump to the basket and he's now going backwards. All right. So now what should be the call? Yeah. Boom, block, or push. Could be either one. Okay. Now, again, now that we know what the call is, this is why we miss it. It's not because of our judgment. Take a look at this official's positioning on this play. See how he closes down? So especially working a two-person, you want to stay outside of this ball. So then you could see through these
He
players.
doesn't get enough field of vision.
Exactly. Now he's looking right up the defender's back. He doesn't see the arms. All right. So this official is a great official. He wouldn't be on this game if he wasn't. Angle is going to get this call right. All right. So stay wide so you could see through the players. All right. So this would have been a push or a block. All right. Second play's coming up here. All right, so how many defenders have three or legal guarding position? All three of them. Just trying to pay attention, who's paying attention. All right, so all three of these defenders have 2 feet on the ground facing the opponent. All right, so the call on the court is a block. All right. What did the offensive player do?
Thought he leaned in,
Yeah,
and pushed.
perfect. All right, so now let's take the
He leaned in.
All right, so we got legal guarding position. We could absorb contact. Who initiates it?
Offense.
And where at?
Torso,
In the torso. All right, so the correct call would have been
charge.
charge. Now we're going to go back and say, why did we get this incorrect? This official, I promise you, knows the rule. All right. So we talk about those tips, right? I'm going to go back. What are we supposed to do after we have a foul? What's the first thing we should do? Raise your hand. What's the first thing he do? He anticipated this call. That's what we call anticipation. All right.
And if he'd have raised his hand, he would have bought some time
Yes.
to decide that call.
Yep.
That's tough angle for the lead to get right there anyway.
Yep.
Probably would have been better to see to make that call.
Maybe.
You can see through the players.
Yep. All right, but the big thing is here, give yourself that 0.5 seconds. You'd be surprised. You're like, oh man, that was late. 0.5 seconds, nobody knows but you. Nobody. Actually, it's kind of cool because the gym for 0.5 seconds is quiet. And then you make your signal, then half of them love you, half of them don't like you. All right. Next play. All right, so this is another good example of you can move. All right, same play, but you can move because the player was not airborne yet. All right, so when coach say, you got to have your feet set, only on an airborne shooter, coach. All right, so first off, does that defender have legal guarding position?
Yes.
Yes.
Second off, is that within 3 feet of the boundary line?
Yes.
Who initiates the contact?
The offensive player. The offensive player.
So now whether that's in the torso or if the head and shoulder got passed, guess what the call is? Charge.
Charge. That's the charge.
You called it a block.
Nope. So what's going to happen here is the trail official not on the TV has the whistle. Lead official has a whistle. And that lead official, why is that lead official not giving the signal right now? All right,
That is
processing.
primary.
It's primary, all right? So the trail official has primary. So he's blowing and holding, and he's giving the primary calling official the shot. Okay, so this is a charge. I think we got 2 more coming. Oh, I'm gonna skip this one. That's the same. Play 5. This is the same one. I'm gonna go to play 6. All right, so the call on the field is a charge. Does number 12 have legal guarding position?
Yes.
So now we have an airborne shooter. What can number 12 not do?
Can't leave his feet.
Move.
And
Leave his feet.
whoever said feet is 100% correct. He can now not slide his feet, but he could turn obliquely. He could even right now jump. He could jump straight up. He could go vertical.
But not towards you.
He cannot go forward. He cannot slide underneath. So this is correctly called. That is a charge. Legal guarding position, didn't slide his feet. Offensive.
Hands straight up.
What's that?
Hands straight up.
Yup, that's a charge.
All right, this will be the last one. All right, this is another example of do not anticipate. Any, I think it goes against Kentucky. Any Kentucky fans? All right,
I'm a Kentucky fan.
so you should recognize
How
this play.
unfortunate.
All right, so the call on the field, does anyone even know what that signal is?
It's, I'm out of here.
Yeah. So that's what we're talking
Kicked him
about.
out.
Signal. And it's funny somebody says that because that is that player's 4th foul in the first half. That's Anthony Davis's 4th foul in the first half.
Jeez.
Now, again, stop the clock. Give yourself time to process. Because now let's take a look at another angle here. Does the defense have legal guarding position?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
What did the defense just do?
Step
Put into the
Land in.
offensive player.
Step forward. So
I
remember,
think he stepped forward.
you are correct. He stepped forward.
forward.
Once that defense steps forward, now
Block.
it's gonna be block.
Block or a push.
Block or push. Again, whichever one. All right, so the importance here, all right, of just stopping the clock, close fist, slow down, process, don't anticipate. This play is easy. Legal guarding position. Who initiated the contact? Here. Now you have all that information to give to the coach and the player. Okay?
It's always up to defense to play good defense.
Yes. All right, so now I need to stop this share. And I need to go to screen share, go to screen 1. Those of you at home, can you see the PowerPoint again?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, and we can see it here now. Cool. All right, so that's block
I can
charge.
see the PowerPoint.
Cool.
Yay.
All right, the third type of foul, elbow. We don't call this one often, and there's a reason why, because they don't happen often. But what to know here, elbows that are more or less horizontal. So this is completely horizontal, right? This is not a foul yet. This is not a foul yet. This is not a foul yet. This definitely won't be a foul. So my elbows now are down. So if they're up, I can chin the basketball here. It's legal for me to chin it. Once I pivot, and if I pivot and hit somebody, that impedes normal basketball defending movement, now you have a foul for elbow. Okay, so when you see players like this, again, explain to them what they can do. Elbows down. All right, elbows down. Because if they pivot and make contact that impedes, foul. So the question came up the other night. We'll talk about it really quick. If they swing and there's a player in the vicinity, no contact, violation. And we're going to cover that in another 2 weeks. All right, so if you call that violation, it usually takes that elbows out. All right, but if they have it up, contact, boop, elbow.
Everybody
Don't let
know
him do
what
it.
he's saying. He didn't even hit him.
All right, hand check. Read definition 10.7.12. There is a specific reason
Mhm.
why this hand check is not in the definition section. Okay? Because this is an automatic foul. Auto. It has nothing to do with impeding, has nothing to do with hindering. It's an automatic foul. All right, so when we talk about arts and science of officiating, I think about somebody just picking at you, picking at you, picking at you, picking at you. At some point, you're going to get mad and slap them in the face, right? Has anyone seen that in basketball? Exactly.
Yep.
That's why
Yes.
the people making the rule book, the people having us teach this, that's why this is in a different rule section. It's a whole different threshold. All right. If a game gets out of control, it always starts with us not calling hand checks. That's where it starts. If we call that first, boop, 2 hands on the ball handler, right? What does that tell the defense?
Keep your hands up.
Feet.
Yeah.
Move your feet.
These officials are not letting us use our hands to play defense. Because they will use their hands to play defense until the officials say, "Whoop, nope, we're not doing it." And then once you do that, now you have freedom of movement. Okay, so 2 hands on the ball handler. The other one that gets confusing is armbar. You can play defense with a armbar. You cannot extend it like you see in these pictures. All right. So the reason why you teach the armbar is I don't want the ball handler getting near me, because the closer I am as a defender, easier it is to get by. This armbar keeps the space. That's legal. They can't extend it. So if you see the
They
extension,
can't pretty.
boom, foul, hand check, extended armbar.
So
Extended
if they extend it and keep it on the ball carrier, that's a foul.
foul. Not keep it. If they extend it, foul.
Okay.
Next one is keeping. Placing and keeping a hand on the ball handler. All right, so they are directing literally what they'll do, and you have no idea they're doing it as an official. They put their hand on the hip. Now it's a steering wheel. They are steering that ball handler where they can and can't go. So as an official, since the word is keeping, when they get a hand on the ball handler, what should we do? Hands
Call a
off.
foul.
No, don't call a foul right away.
Oh, I'll tell them hands up, show me hands.
Yes.
And if they don't
No,
if they don't correct themselves a couple
Yes.
of times down the court, I'm gonna call that.
No, okay, no, Daryl,
Yes.
not a couple times down the court.
once.
If they
Or
put their
once.
hand on, they keep it on after you say hands, you're calling the foul.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna call. Yeah.
All right, so keeping the hand on, foul.
Wake up, Daryl.
All right. And then
Okay.
the last one is contacting the ball handler. That's I really don't see the players doing the 4th one unless they're trying to literally pick on, get it underneath their head. But the first 3 happens all the time. Boom, 2 hands because the defense knows their beat. Second one, extension, automatic. And then the third one is if they keep it after you say hands or hands off, whatever term you want to use. Give
I
them
usually tell them,
time to take their hand off.
show
I
me
call-
hands.
Yep.
And every now and then I do see number 4.
All right. The next one, This is where I challenge everybody in this meeting and everybody that watches this meeting and coaches who watch it. Don't use the word reach to communicate illegal contact. Reaching is legal. All right, what makes it illegal is using the hands, arms, hips to force through a screen, illegal use of hands, or pushing. Using hands or arms to inhibit the freedom of movement, quickness, balance, speed, rhythm. Extending hands or arms outside of the verticality so that the freedom of movement of an opponent is hindered when the contact occurs. So you always see defenders play defense like this, and they try to stop that ball handler with their arms outside their body, okay? And then on screens, that what they call elevator screen at the free throw line, where they keep enough room, and all of a sudden, boom, they clamp so that defense can't come through. They can't do that. If they're gonna screen, they gotta get shoulder to shoulder and set before that defensive player goes through, okay? Now, with the illegal use of hands with verticality, and I think we have a situation later on. If I start with two hands up, the offense hits me, what's going to happen to my arms? They're going to go forward. So now if my arms go forward, why do they go forward?
Reflex.
Yep, because the offense initiated that contact. So if both go down after contact, are you going to have illegal use of hands on the defense?
No.
You're going to have incidental contact, right? Because even if the offense is at an unequal favorable position, they put themselves that you're not going to call a foul on that own player. All right, so unless it displaces the defense, you could go charge. But a lot of times they hold their ground and it's just an errant shot. And then you find the volleyball players really quick. Volleyball players will be here. They go one arm down. If they go one arm down, did the offense cause the one arm to go down? Nope. Ooh, illegal use of hand. All right, coming down with that arm. Okay, so this is, please, 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 coaches, don't ask for reaching fouls. Officials, don't call reaching fouls. Okay. Next one is holding. All right, this is where it interferes movement. All right, they're grabbing the jersey. They're grabbing the arm. Post play, if I have, I hope my camera's getting this. If I have my hand up here and the pass is going to go to the hand, and then all of a sudden,
your camera's not on.
my camera's not on.
No.
No,
Now it is.
there we go.
All right. So now if my hand is up and I see that hand turn, we got to figure out why the heck did that hand turn? A lot of times it's that hip. That defender has their hand on the hip and they're turning the hip. All right. Hold. The other one is when they have the arms intertwined and they're hooking the arms as fast as you possibly can. Call the foul on the hold. That is so dangerous when they hook the arm. All right, so they cannot hook the arm in the post. They cannot turn the hip in the post. And then on the perimeter, they can't grab jersey and grab arms. Okay, holding, holding, holding. The last foul is pushing. Key word here, displacement. Displacing the opponent. Now you still need an advantage, and we're going to go over some examples here. So displacing an opponent from a position on the playing floor. Post play. If I'm in the post, why do coaches teach the post players to post up where they want to post up? Anyone know? Do post players usually have good ball handling skills?
No.
Oh,
They want them to catch it and shoot it. Don't dribble. Because if they dribble, I call those little guards, those pesky guards are gonna come steal it. So now if a post player is displaced away from the post, that's a disadvantage. They're farther away from the goal. All right. So this is where it has to gain an advantage. If they displace out of the post, but they swing it, they don't even feed the post. Do we have to call that foul? We don't have to. You could talk to that player. Say, hey, number 34, had they feed the post there, I would have got you on a foul for displacement, push. You could go around them, play in the front, or you got to allow them to have that space on the floor. You can't move them out. The other one on post play, both of them are just banging. What should we call if you have two post players? Boom.
Double foul.
Double foul. All right. And both of them are displacing each other. Get them both. And if that doesn't stop it, guess what you do the next time down the court? Get them again.
Oh, another one.
Yes. This double foul post play when they're just banging cleans it up just like that. And coaches don't mind it. They don't always love it, but at least you got both. It's not one over the other. The last example is rebounding. There's a lot of pushing on rebounding. When coaches teach drill, is box them out, drive them out of the lane. Okay. Sometimes it's a foul, sometimes it's not a foul. We have to be able to determine if I am boxing out and somebody from behind pushes me underneath the basket, but that rebound goes somewhere else onto the court, was an advantage gained? No,
No.
it's not a foul. We should communicate to that player, hey, number 34, had you got that rebound, guess what I was going to call? I was going to call a push. All right. Now, if it is such a terrible displacement, a throw to the ground with two hands, or a chuck with two arms into that opponent, call that foul, no matter where that ball goes. If it's safety related, you got to get it. Now let's flip it. Now I'm in advantage. I'm doing a good job boxing out. And my opponent jumps up in the air. And I continue boxing out, take out their legs, and boom, they hit the ground. Now
That's
who's
a
the
foul
foul?
on you.
It's
That's
the
foul
foul
on
on
the
the
guy
guy
who's boxing
boxing out. Right? Because they
'Cause you
only
can't
have-
displace him while he's in the air.
And that would be a push. Absolutely. Okay, so it's displacement. Safety related, bang it. Don't let safety be in any question. If it's just to gain a spot on the floor, but that spot doesn't gain an advantage, communicate to the players and coach, hey, different situation, we would have had a foul. Again, sometimes this drives coaches nuts because we call the push because somebody got the rebound. Next time down, same push, different result. You just got to explain to the coach, well, that didn't have an effect on the play.
Okay.
All right, so now we got some play situations. Okay, first situation. A player reach, they slap at the ball, they hit the shooter's hand. They actually make contact with the hand. While the ball is in contact with, or the hand is in contact with the ball during a dribble, pass, or shot. What do you guys have? It's a legitimate play on the ball, hit on the hand, ball is on the hand.
Shooting foul.
Okay, the answer is no foul. It's got to be a legitimate play on the ball, number one, so they can't just rear back and hammer. But if the ball is part of if the ball's on the hand, that is a play on the ball.
And they still have even shooting.
Even shooting. Okay, so now a coach would be like, how is that not a foul? I asked the coach, Coach, where did they contact your shooter? In the hand. Exactly. It's a legitimate play on the ball. The hand is part of the basketball on that play. And that's a rule a legitimate play on the basketball while reaching. Hands part of the ball. Hands got to be on the ball. It
Don't
can't-
call it reach.
Yeah, do not call it reach. All right, so that is no foul. Situation number 2. Defender's arms are raised vertical. Ball handler goes into the defender, not displacing, and the arms come down, contacts the shooter's arm, and the shot is missed.
Foul.
No foul. Because who caused those arms to come down?
The offense.
Offense. You cannot call a foul on the defense.
Offense.
Offense caused it. So that's called offensive initiated contact. Do not call a foul on the defense when it's offense initiated contact. Okay. And that's what you say to the coach. Offense initiated contact. Play number 3. A3, so that's offense. A is offense, is behind B3. So it's a jump shot. A3 jumps up, literally reaches over B3. He or she grabs the rebound, comes back and lands without displacing or landing on B3.
No
So-
foul.
No foul.
No
Perfect.
foul.
It is legal to be more athletic, to go over somebody's back and bring that ball down.
Isn't that over the back?
That is,
No.
it is over the back.
No call.
It is,
Never been.
No
but
such
it's
call
never
anymore.
been a foul. It is not one of the 7 fouls. And we're going to review the 7 fouls for those that got on the meeting late. Over the back is not a foul. You could be more athletic. So the coach, well, what's my player supposed to do?
Box
Jump.
out.
Jump for that basketball. They have to jump for that basketball. Number 4, B2 is boxing out. B2 jumps in the air, and A2 continues to move backward, causing B2 to fall down to the ground.
Wow.
Foul, and what signal are we going to use? Push, displace them. Because whatever spot on the court I jump from, I have to be able to land on that spot. Shooter and rebounder.
Hey, Sean, will you talk about number 1 again? So with a layup, the ball's in the hand, defender hits the hand, no foul.
As long as the ball is in contact with the hand, no foul. It's got to be a legitimate play on the ball. Yep, no foul.
Nothing has been bothered.
Nope. Play number 5, A1 is dribbling up the court with B2 trailing. Does B2 have legal guarding position?
No.
Very important there. A1 stops moving forward, and then B2 runs into A1. Foul, as long as A1 is displaced and at a disadvantage. People always say, they're doing that on purpose, Sean. They are. That's a smart play. But the defense could see that dribbler. They have to get outside of that dribbler. Okay, they got to get to legal guarding position. Play, that's 6. B2 is within 2 feet from the sideline. A2 dribbles so that the head and shoulders gets past B2. A2 falls to the floor. If you call a foul, what's the foul going to be?
It's going to be on
Charged.
A2.
All right, so now let's teach a little art to officiating. What if they fall and the ball just goes out of bounds off of A2?
B2 ball.
Boom. You could go violation there. You can use some art. All right, go violation, out of bounds off of A, B's ball. And now you have that communication with the coach. Hey, coach, anything within 3 feet of the boundary line, that dribbler's responsible for that contact. Okay. So 2 answers on that one: foul for charge, or if they go out of bounds, you could go violation out of bounds. A4 dribbles the ball into the double team by B2 and B3. A4, so the offense, legal double team, steps through the middle of that double team and displaces B2 and B3. So they don't hit him in the torso. They go right through the trap and displace B2 and B3. We definitely have a foul, correct?
Yes.
Who is it on?
A4.
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 It is charging. All right, so another example of not in the torso,
They
but
had good.
it's the offense initiating it. All right, again, a little art to officiating. If they go through that trap and they travel, violation. Go with that travel and try to save that foul. Because it's not a disadvantage advantage foul. The one who initiated the contact, they lose the ball. So that is their penalty, so to speak. Now this is the fun one. A4 dribbles into a double team by B2 and B3. This time, B2 and B3 keep moving forward. We all see that, right? They get to a spot and they keep moving the feet forward. Now A4 steps through it. Now who's the foul on? Defense. All right, so now you got a whoop, block. Again, make sure there's a impeding interference. Make sure it affects normal basketball movement. If A4 still throws the ball to a teammate, let's save a foul, okay? But again, officiate the defense. You'd be surprised how many times they keep moving forward. They want to get closer. They want to get closer. They can't. They got to hold their ground.
That's my favorite word.
All right, so I'm going to go back really quick, because my video was off before we go into the modeling. Remember, we want to try to keep it simple. All right, so the only fouls we're going to call is close fist, block, close fist, charge, close fist, elbow, close fist, hand check, close fist, hold, close fist, illegal use of hands, close fist, push. Keep it simple. Don't make up own signals. All right, when you make up own signals, that's when mistakes happen. That's when confusion happens. So now modeling this is our another goal. All right, so see contact between opponents. Contact that it hinders, impedes, interferes normal basketball movement. Boom, whistle, fist up. If it's equally favorable, let them play through it. If it's not an advantage, let them play through it. If you have that fist up at the very spot you are at, give the signal. Holding. Now you have to give the resumption of play. What are the two resumptions of play we have? Exactly. Free throws or designated spot? Foul. Push. 2 shots. Foul. Illegal use of hands. Out of bounds.
That's the order that the rest wants.
That's the order every level wants. Yep. So stop the clock, foul. Give the reason why the foul, and now the resumption of play. Okay, 2 shots, count the basket, 1 shot, all right? Now, after you do that, so at the spot, that's all you're doing. It's simple, 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 simple. Boop, push, 2. Now go to the table. Because how many times have you worked with a partner, you hear a whistle, and they just run to the table. And you're thinking, what is a partner? What am I doing? I'm lost. I'm confused. What do you think coaches are thinking? What the is going on here? You got to give this information. Give it, because that's going to keep that blood pressure low. It's control. It's communication. So example, we got white 32 moving forward into the dribbler. All right, so at the spot, whistle, block, 32, 2 shots. As I'm going to the table, I am trying to now think of the story of I'm telling.
As you're walking.
Well, hopefully I'm running. Hopefully I have some zip.
Oh, I see.
We should have some zip. Now to the table, I'm gonna go white, 32, moving forward, contacting the dribbler, 2 shots. Okay, I don't have to say block again. Now the coach is gonna, because if I just go block, because what they do, I'm giving the coach the information what they did. All right, so the next one, we got green 44, displacing opponent away from the post. So at the spot, whistle, push, 44, out of bounds right here. Now I'm gonna have some zip going to the reporting table. Green 44, displacing the post player away from the basket, out of bounds. I'm answering the question to the coach. And the last one is 12, hitting the shooter in the head. Whistle, illegal use of hands, number 12, 2 shots. Go to the table, zip. All right, I got blue, blue 12, hit to the head, 2 shots. Telling the story at the table. That is very, 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 very hard to do. All right. If you can't tell the story, illegal use of hands, push, block, charge, elbow. Say that at the table until you can tell a story. But I tell you what, you will get so much respect from coaches, and coaches will appreciate, wow, this official is letting us know what my player did to have a foul. I can now coach my player to do whatever they have to do differently. Exactly. Okay, so I know there was an official here. You know, why aren't coaches in this meeting? Coaches should hear this information. I agree. They hear it from us when we work. Every time we go and work, we are educating what is legal, what is illegal. Right, this is our practice. They're practicing right now. Go ahead.
Whoa,
Reporting if like say it's a number
whoa.
like 28 or something.
Illegal number.
Okay.
So it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, up to 55.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you only have to.
Hey, you're basketball, so I had to have. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, and then
So like basketball.
if you're really good, 28.
That's right.
So 3 is up, 8 is to the side, 9, 6. But when it comes to high school basketball, they can only go up to 5 because of the fingers. All right. What time is it? Perfect. I'm going to switch over to Huddle, and I'm going to stop the share, and I'm going to screen share. Where are we at here? Nope. Can you guys see the
Yes.
basketball game at home? Perfect.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now I
Yes,
got it. Can you still see it?
Yes.
Awesome. All right.
Now, no.
Now, no.
no,
Oh,
It's
no.
gone.
Everything went away. There it is.
All right.
It looks like my high school.
I know what I have to do. Mm. You guys can still see it at home?
Yeah. Now I can. Yep.
Okay, cool.
no.
All right, so I know
Oh,
one
okay.
official. I recognize one official. I literally randomly picked this game. I have no idea what we're going to watch here. All right, so this is 100% training purposes. Our goal of watching the video is not to judge if they got the call right or wrong. We're just going to have conversation of, all right, we got contact. In our judgment, incidental, or is it illegal? If the officials on the court do have a foul, let's take a look at their communication. Is it clear what they have? Okay. So with no further ado, let's watch these guys work. All right, so we have first contact right here. Okay. The offense is trying to do what?
Post up.
He wants to get to that post area. Defense is trying to do what?
Keep them out of there.
Front
Stop
him.
it.
All right, they're trying to front. All right, because now that defense is going to have that help side to protect the lot pass. So now we know what the normal basketball move each team's trying to do. All right, so that contact, did it gain anybody an advantage?
No.
Incidental.
No.
All right, incidental contact.
No.
All right, so now, how about this one? I'm gonna go back 5 seconds. Watch the post play. Did it gain an advantage?
Yes, you displaced the defense.
All right, so some in the room are gonna say yes. Some in the room are gonna say no. This is the art of officiating. All right, so both answers are correct. You could say, yeah, white displaced the blue player, got them closer to the basket. You could say, no, the defense wanted to play behind. They are still playing behind. All right, I would err on the side of no. Number one, it's early in the game. And come on, what? To me, I think blue is happy to let him displace him. He's doing his job. But the big thing is you have to be able to communicate if you do have a foul. Why? Because that player now has to learn. And so, in my opinion, everything there's all normal. Nobody really gained an advantage. It's it. It got it. Sweet. Defense stayed vertical. All right, so now we have, this is an important moment for me as an official. That was the first screen. What did white do? He switched. So that's telling me now future screens, all right, they're most likely going to switch. So now we could screen and roll. Okay, so that's important to me as an official. Now that time, what did they do? They didn't switch. So now that screen and roll would have been illegal. Now they didn't roll, so we're all good. We're still all good. So here's a judgment call. All right, so what is the offense trying to do?
Get to the basket.
Get to the basket. What is the defense trying to do?
Stop them from getting to the basket.
Okay, so take a look at where number 24 jumped from. Everyone see where number 24 jumped from?
Yep.
Is it normal for the offense to go backwards like that?
No.
Nope.
Okay, so again, this is the art of officiating. If you call a foul, you got to say, in my judgment, the defense moved forward, causing that shooter to go backwards. I'm going to go err on the side of no foul. I try to talk myself out of calling fouls. 24 jumped into the defender. For every action, there's a reaction, right? So if I bounce the ball to the ground, it's going to bounce back up. If 24 bounces to the defender, there's a chance he could bounce backwards. So I got nothing. Right? So again, you got to be able to articulate that to a coach. Coach, he just bounced off of him. I didn't have the defense displacing him backwards. All right, art versus science. All right, this is another great one. So after this shot, we have a loose ball. 2's going for the ball. He's got the court advantage. 15 makes contact. If 2 stepped out of bounds on the line, we have to have a foul. Disadvantage, they lost possession of the ball. 2 was trying to get possession of the ball. He got possession of the ball. The blue team kept possession of the ball. That's equally favorable position. That's incidental contact. Both players are still up. They're still playing basketball. Okay, so that is an incidental contact because there was no violation. I'm gonna let it play until we have a foul. So far, they're playing clean, so this is good. All right, so this is an example right here. Screening outside the vision. If 24 has no idea that that screener's there, 24 can run him over and not have a foul on 24. All right. Now, if your team, if you hear his teammates say screen, 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 and he lowers his shoulder and just tries to go through the screen, now you have a foul. All right. That's an example of incidental contact if that screener went to the ground. All right, so see how they switched on that screen? So once they switch, you're no longer screening that same person. All right, fast break, here we go. That's interesting. That's a weird, cool rule right there. I would have called that out of bounds on White.
No, that's really.
All right. All right, so now let's go to that contact. A lot of contact here. All right, so what is number 2 doing right now? Legal to reach. Legal to reach. What did the offense just do there?
Double dribble.
Maybe, but he stepped through 2 defenders, 2 legal defenders. So we can't have a block on the defense. We have 2 legal defenders that he stepped through.
They were not displaced.
Correct. All right. So again, a lot of contact. We're not going to talk about violations yet. A lot of contact, but we could explain why it's incidental. All right, so I'm going to go back to that one. Okay, so what is this dribbler trying to do? He gets it right here. A normal basketball movement, dribbling to the hoop. Watch what the defense does. You guys see what he did with the right hand? So if you're dribbling, would you be supported with the result of the dribble that happens here for either illegal use of hands, hold, or hand check? Does, but if that dribbler didn't have that hand on his shoulder, would he continue dribbling that ball? Okay, so just know, if you don't call it, you got to explain why you didn't call it. If you do call it, you got to be able to communicate hands on affected the dribble. All right, in my judgment, it impeded the ability to make a normal dribble move. Right? So again, art and science. You don't have to call it a foul, but you have to explain why if you did. Try to watch 2 more real live minutes here of the film. Let's see if we could have a signal, have a foul. All right, so here's another situation. All right, so what is the offensive player doing? Going in for a layup. His normal movement is a layup, and it is normal to jump forward for the layup. What is the defender doing? But did he? Take a look where his feet are right now. Where do his feet come back down? Same exact spot. So now the offensive coach is going to be like, how is that not a foul on my airborne shooter? Coach, defender had legal guarding position. He could legally jump up. Offense initiated the contact against a legal defender. That contact forced that shooter down on the ground. Okay, you got to have that conversation with the coach. He might not agree with you. She might not agree with you. But when they see the film, oh man, that's exactly what happened. They remember that stuff. Okay, please, somebody have a foul. Great no call. Yeah.
Push.
All right, so now we're going to go back. Let's take a look at communication here after the foul. Both have it. All right, so now he called what type of foul? Illegal use of hands. So everything is great there, except at that spot. Don't be in a hurry. Boop, boop. Illegal use of hands. 2. Now go to the table. Slow down. Over communicate once you do have a foul. All right. Those of you at home Can you see the PowerPoint again?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
we're gonna go to the
Yes.
last, we're gonna go to the last slide. Because no teacher should ever send a student home without a ton of homework. All right, so drills. If you truly, truly, truly want to get better at calling fouls, there's 5 things that you could drill. Number 1, go out, watch, and observe. And when you find officials like, that looks good, copy them. Copy the good officials that you know are doing it correct. All right. Second one, basketball is going to start up here. I think college basketball on TV starts this weekend, if not next weekend. Watch. I'm not sure who has their speaker open, but it is really loud. All right. The next one, start watching college basketball. Literally, whistle in your mouth, watching it. When you see a foul, boom, call foul. And then now you're going to get really good instant feedback. Did the officials on the court call a foul? Oh, sweet, they did. Do your signal, push. Did your signal match the officials on the court signal? Sometimes you're going to disagree with the signals and everything like that, but just doing it on the like watching the game and trying to get that timing mechanism and processing. All right, push, elbow, charge, block. Get in the habit of that, just watching the game on TV. Next one, maybe stand in front of a mirror and report. Literally every single morning. I'll do, right now I'm still football season, but I will do 10 signals in front of the mirror. Push, 2 shots. White, 32, push, 2 shots. You're going to be able to self-reflect how you look just by doing it in the mirror. Have someone record you when you start working games. You guys have cell phones, right? Everyone's got a cell phone? Turn on your video, because I guarantee you, every single game you work, it's on Facebook Live, it's on YouTube Live, it is somewhere live because somebody's grandparents are watching the game in Virginia. So you might as well turn on your phone and record you and watch you. And then when you do, watch the game film and look at all the communication you're doing. Forget about your judgment. The film, you will never have the look that you have on the court. So what's a foul on film could look completely different where you're standing on the court. But watch your community, watch the, how do you run? How's your posture? How do you look in uniform? What are you doing after you blow your whistle? All right, how is your facial expression when you're talking to players and coaches? Because that is huge. Right, when we talk about showing that you care, having fun, if you have that negative body language and you have no idea that you're doing it, people are interpreting you negative. What could you do to be more positive? Right, so do these drills to get ready for the season by watching others, watching TV, working in the mirror, and then when you do start working, record yourself. It's amazing on what you notice on yourself when you watch yourself. And the last thing here tonight, our upcoming events, we did finalize our November 2nd mentoring meeting. The mentoring system works over and over and over again, whether you are a veteran official and you're available to come to this meeting. We need veteran officials to make this work. It's not just for new officials. We want to meet and greet. So new officials, this is a great place to meet officials who've been doing it for a while. Older officials, this is a great place to meet, to give back. So when you're out on the court, you have some common folk like, oh, they were at the meeting, they cared. I feel comfortable on this game. Okay. And then pretty much what we're going to do, there's going to be 10 questions. The new officials are going to ask the veterans. 10 questions the veterans are going to ask the new officials. It was amazing when we did it in football, the conversation that was struck. All right, so this is open to everybody. If you want to have dinner there, you can. You don't have to order food. It's just a location we have where it's laid back. And then the next rules meetings we're gonna have here at Westside, Monday, November 7th and 9th, 7 to 8:30, same meeting both days. So don't come to both, please. Just come to one. And we're gonna go over violations, out of bounds, travel, illegal dribble, held ball, free throw violations, throw-in violations, 5-second count, 10-second count, and the very maybe 3-second count. And then a backcourt violation, okay? So that's the upcoming events there. Whether it's in the room here or at home, any questions? Hopefully I hit home on the only personal files we're going to call this year are these personal files. Only 7. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. All right, I'm going to stop the recording. And those of you who are here, you're good to go.
This